Hi, I'm Michael Sansolo, and welcome to Shopping with Michael. Let's face it, we all want to eat healthier. But with so many choices out there, it's constantly harder to do just that. Well, more supermarkets now have registered dietitians in their stores to guide you to better choices. We'll talk to one of those dietitians today who will give us some simple yet important information on how we can shop, cook, and eat better. And we'll examine some of those fad diet trends that grab headlines and social media focus, but might not deliver the results that you want. And one of the biggest complaints we all have about grocery shopping are those long lines to check out. Well, thanks to technology, help is on the way. We'll look at self-scanning for tips on how to get yourself through there quicker than ever. And we'll examine emerging apps that might allow all of us to speed through the checkout or avoid it completely. We'll be back with that right after this.
Who makes store brands? We hired a famous detective to find out. He snooped here, and he snooped there. And what he found was, in many cases, the same company that made the national brand made the store brands too. Wow! Then he found that many store brands are made by manufacturers who specialize in store brands, experts in working with retailers to give you great products at great savings. Wow! But most important, he found that store brands have to meet the same government standards as the national brands. What's the difference between store brands and national brands? Usually, only the price. Store brands. Be your own detective.
Welcome back. We all know that eating healthier is important to us and our families. It impacts our health, our lifestyle, how we feel, and even how we look. But the truth is, most of us just don't know how to eat healthier. Every day brings news of new diets, new diet books, and the health issue of the moment. Well, luckily, we've got somebody to help us get through this today. Elizabeth Holzer is a registered dietitian. She works at a busy ShopRite supermarket in Hoboken, New Jersey, and Liz is going to help us sort through all of this information that's out here. So Liz, thank you for being with us today. I want to start out with the very basics. What is a registered dietitian? Why should I believe you?
So a registered dietitian is someone who has a 4-year degree in dietetics, and then we have to do a year-long internship program. So similar to a residency, we're rotating through all the different avenues of nutrition and really learning about the field. And then we take a board certifying exam, so we have licensure behind us as well. It's very scientific based.
When we look at what is going on today, and let's use me as an example. I go to my doctor, I get diagnosed, maybe my blood pressure is up, or maybe there's an issue with my blood sugars, whatever it might be. Would I bring my diagnosis and come to you? Is that how people interact with you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have customers coming to our store all the time with new diagnosis, lab work, looking for diet modification, and they come to us at ShopRite. We offer a completely free service. So you're welcome to come to us. We sit down, we do meal planning, we create menus, we can go through the aisles and really point out those products that we're selling. So we're really able to help a consumer on a one-to-one basis in the trenches, as I like to call it.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, as I travel the country and look at supermarkets, I've seen a lot more dietitians in stores. I know you guys in a lot of your stores now are featuring dietitians, aren't you?
Absolutely. It's about half right now. We have about 300 ShopRites. There's about 130 dietitians going to about 140 stores.
Yeah, big.
So we're really hitting that market.
Well, it's a big, and we know the shopper is concerned about it and they're looking for help.
Absolutely.
I understand when it comes to help, though, you've got some really usable and simple tips people can follow. So help educate us. How can we eat healthier?
So my first tip is follow My Plate. My Plate replaced the food pyramid, so none of us
the
really
one from the government, yes.
You got it. None of us eat like a pyramid. So My Plate, it shows about half of it is fruits and vegetables. So half your plate should be covered in fruits and vegetables depending on the meal. A quarter of it should be protein, so those lean, delicious proteins, and a quarter should be your grains. So your quinoa or your brown rice or your whole wheat pasta should fill about a quarter of your plate. And then dairy 3 times a day. So if you follow that, you'll really be having a moderated, healthy diet.
And I use that as kind of my guide through the entire day. So I want half of the foods I take in to be fruits and vegetables.
You got it, absolutely.
I understand you have some other cool tips, easy things that I could use in the kitchen, the store, wherever. Why don't you explain this?
So we're gonna use our hands. This is my hands model.
Okay.
So you're gonna make a fist. So a fist is your half a cup to a cup portion. So this is really for your fruits, your grains, your starchy vegetables. For your green vegetables, you're going to use 2 fists.
Oh, got it.
Got it?
I had bigger hands on some of this stuff.
Some of the stuff. You're going to open up your hands.
Okay.
So from your wrist to your fingertips, that's your lean portion, your lean protein. So that's your chicken breast, your turkey breast, or your fish.
Got it.
Your center of your palm, that's your red meat. So that's your burgers, or maybe a piece of filet mignon. That's going to take up that.
Do I get to like go, no? Oh,
You know, moderation.
I'm trying to be good here.
So your finger is your peanut butter or your cheese. Your thumb is peanut butter or cheese. The center of your palm, that's your nuts, seeds, raisins. Almost think trail mix. The things that are in trail mix.
And so I use these all as my guides when even whatever I'm doing in my home.
Exactly.
Whether we're cooking dinner or certainly if I'm taking portions, just fist, hand, palm. Wow, that's really simple.
You know what? It's much easier than having to always bring out that measuring cup because this is something you always have on you.
And by doing this, it's going to help me have a more balanced diet, probably keep my caloric count where I want it to be.
Absolutely. It's all about portion size.
You know, Liz, I have to tell you, it's simple things like that I think, I've never heard that before. And it sounds so simple and it makes so much sense. It is just great to have that as a tool. I want to keep you around. We're going to take a 1-minute break and we're going to come back with Liz to talk about some of the stories that are out there. Maybe we could call them myths, we could call it misinformation, but there's a lot of things we're told about how to diet these days or really healthy things to do. And I know you have some strong feelings about this. So we'll be back in a minute with Liz to take a look at some of these diet issues to see what is and what isn't. We'll be right back.
Squirrels know how to save. They have to. But people, they're a different story. Some try coupons or check apps for the lowest price. Some wait for the word SALE. Many people, however, know that the lowest prices without coupons or special sales come when they regularly buy store brands. Food, beverages, household, health and beauty. Your supermarket, drug chain or mass merchandiser has store brands with comparable ingredients, taste and performance to more expensive national brands. A family of 4 can save $1,500 a year, and you can squirrel that away for other things you need to buy. Store brands, the real way to save.
Welcome back. We've got Elizabeth Holzer still with us here today. Elizabeth is the registered dietitian at a ShopRite store in Hoboken, New Jersey, and we've been talking about all kinds of health tips, and you've had some great information for us. But again, there is so much information out there. I feel like, you know, whether it's social media or traditional news, I'm constantly being bombarded with eat this, don't eat that, eat more of this, and it almost gets overwhelming. I'm kind of curious because you know this stuff. You're a food scientist in essence. What are you seeing out there as either mistaken trends or fads that you would really like to say to shoppers?
There's so many of them out there right now. You could go from, you know, the no carbs, which has been around for so long, to cleanses, to people taking one specific food out of their diet. And when you ask somebody why, they really don't have a reason for you. They're like, well, I read a book, or I read a blog, or so it's people just really not knowing the basics of that nutrition information.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes I'll read on social media, a friend of mine will say, oh, I went on a cleanse and I did it for 2 weeks or whatever, and I dropped X number of pounds, and they're all really excited about that. Is that a good dieting strategy?
You know what, when we think of dieting strategies, we want to think of healthy lifestyle because it's not about the race, it's about the marathon. It's about the life, you know? So moderation is key. So everything fits into a healthy lifestyle in moderate portions, like our hands model. And we want to think of my plate. So when we are sitting down for those meals, you can get everything in on that plate and get it all portioned correctly.
We need good diet, we need good lifestyle, we need some exercise. Gluten is another one. It comes up all the time. Everybody is swearing off gluten these days, but from what I've read, it's only about 1% of the population that really has a severe gluten problem. So if other people are giving up gluten, is it bad to give it up? Does it make a difference?
So gluten is the protein that's in wheat. And gluten actually, and again, protein is really important for us. So by taking that out, you're actually taking an essential part out of grains. There are people that absolutely have celiac disease or gluten sensitivity that really do need to live a gluten-free lifestyle. Other than that, gluten is actually a healthy part of grains. When you think of grains, you really want to think of your whole grains. So whether that's your brown rice or your whole wheat pasta or your whole wheat breads or your quinoas or your ancient grains, those are the things that you really want to start to go towards rather than just swearing off gluten altogether.
It's so interesting. You know, it's wonderful to have somebody, first of all, unbiased and with so much scientific knowledge. And I hope for a lot of the folks watching this, they can find, if they're in your region, of course, to find ShopRite, find your registered dietitians, but wherever they are, to find people like that. As one last thought, I'm just kind of curious, we hear so many health issues in the United States these days. What do you think are the emerging problems? What are the ones that really should be concerning us all these days?
I think that we're seeing a lot more diagnosis of prediabetes. I think that doctors are really trying to hit it before they get to the disease state of type 2 diabetes or needing for insulin. So as a dietitian in the store, I'm seeing a lot of people coming in with just elevated blood work, and they're like, please let me make these changes before it really becomes a much larger issue.
You know, and it's a big and it's an important issue. But again, with diet, with simple things like you taught us on how to balance, it'll be good for weight, it'll be good for lifestyle, it'll be good for our long-term health. Well, thank you, Elizabeth, again for being here. Thanks for all the tips, all the health. And hopefully, for those of you watching, you learned a lot today that will help you make healthier foods at home, better portion size, and even help you buy the right kind of products when you're in the supermarket. Thanks for being here, Elizabeth. We'll be right back. For many of us, the worst part of the grocery shopping experience comes at the very end, when we have to get online to check out our items. We've got it all, but now we have to wait to go through the process of scanning. It may be quicker than what used to happen in the past, but there's still that darn line. Well, the entire checkout process has changed a lot in recent years, and it looks like it's going to change a whole lot more into the future. More than ever now, in stores, you can find self-scanning units. And for a lot of us, that can be a little bit intimidating because we may not know how to do the self-scanner. It actually is pretty simple. We know how a basic scanner works, and there's always instructions. So if you aren't doing it, it's something worth trying because frequently there are a lot of those units, and it's an easier way to get out of the store. But we're already seeing how new technologies are changing that part of the process. In some stores, you can now pick up little shopping guns, they're kind of called. They're basically named Scan It. And you take them, and as you go through your shopping process, you're scanning every item as you're putting it right into the bags you're going to carry out of the store. When you're leaving the store, you go to one of those self-scanning units, you scan a barcode, it instantly coordinates with that gun that you have. You holster it, and your entire order rings up automatically, and it speeds you out of the store. Now, every now and then, the store will randomly pick you to audit the order to make sure it's correct, and then you can leave, but it's really quick. But we know technology continues to move, and it's probably coming really, really soon that we'll be using our smartphones to do this anywhere we go, to do the scanning, to do the recording. Already there are apps you can use when you're in the store that you can scan items, and it'll tell you whether or not it fits the nutritional profile of how you're looking to eat. There's so many exciting apps that keep coming out that we can save ourselves time in the store, get some more convenience, and tie everything into our nutritional needs. This is what shopping is going to look like really soon, according to what the experts say. In fact, the day may come when you'll walk into the store and walk out of the store without ever interacting with a checkout counter, because everything will be happening automatically through your smartphone. So as we think about that line at the checkout counter, well, there's changes you can make today. You can try those self-scanning units. You may be able to find those check-it guns, and pretty soon, supermarket apps are going to change the experience, and you might have no hassle at the front end really, really soon. That's another episode of Shopping with Michael. We hope the insights on both dietary choices and new technology at the checkout can make your life simpler. See you next time.
For more information on what you've seen on today's show, please visit us at Store Brands USA, the channel here on YouTube, or go to storebrandsusa.com for shopping information, recipe ideas, and more.